Very warm welcome to all my friends who visited my Movie Explain channel. I'd like to present you the Sherlock Holmes. This is a complete suspense story. It began in the 1890s. This is London, in England, where it is shown that Detective Sherlock Holmes and his partner Dr. John Watson have set out on a mission. On this mission, they have to save a girl's life. The man who kidnaps the girl is Lord Henry Blackwood. He's gonna kill that girl. And just in time, Sherlock Holmes have arrived. He grabs her hand and saves the girl's life. Blackwood wanted to kill this girl to increase his powers to rule the world. He had killed 5 girls before, but now he is in the custody of Sherlock Holmes and the police. The police arrest him and take him away. When he is in the jail, he casts a spell on a police officer. And a moment later, that policeman suffering from pain. That's when another police officer comes and asks him, "Why did you do all this, Blackwood?" He says, "Because I want to meet someone." Actually, Blackwood wants to meet Sherlock Holmes. After that, Sherlock Holmes came, where he experienced fear of Blackwood in the hearts of the people. Because he is a warlock. He knows black magic. He has evil powers. But Sherlock Holmes doesn't believe in all this. Because he is a scientist and detective. When he meets Blackwood, he says, "I wish I had caught you earlier." So, at least 5 innocent lives would have been saved. Blackwood says, those 5 useless lives, which were useful for a great purpose. They were all sacrifices. But Sherlock Holmes doesn't pay any attention to what he says. Because he is a scientist. He doesn't believe in such things. He says, "When you are hanged, your life will be lost, and when I open your brain, then you will also be useful for a great purpose." Blackwood says, "Increase your thinking beyond the limits. You are not able to understand the seriousness of the future. You and I are connected to each other, which will change the whole structure of nature in the future." Sherlock Holmes starts going from there, and Blackwood tells him from behind, "There will 3 more deaths going to happen, and you can't do anything to save them. Until you find out that you have made all this possible, you will have gone mad with your mind, and the last thought in your mind will be me." After that, the day of execution came, when Blackwood has to be hanged. They asked Blackwood, "Do you want to say anything?" Blackwood says, "Death is just the beginning." And then Blackwood is hanged. Sherlock Holmes' friend, who is a doctor, whose name is John Watson, he confirms that Blackwood is no more. He is dead. And with this case ends. Now, a beautiful lady comes to Sherlock Holmes, whose name is Adler. Sherlock Holmes knows her. At some point of time, he also liked her. She is so sharp that she has defeated Sherlock Holmes twice. She gives a case to Sherlock Holmes. She says, "There is a man named Luke Reardon. You have to find him out for me." And after giving the details of that man, she leaves from there. But Holmes follows her in disguise, and he saw that she sits in a carriage. There was already a man inside. Sherlock Holmes, who has completely changed his look, he bumps into his car and tells him that, "I have a revolver. Would you like to buy it?" But the man inside shows him the revolver. After that, Sherlock Holmes leaves the place. He tells Watson that Irene is definitely working for someone, and she is completely under their control, which is a very big deal. Holmes adds, "That's because controlling someone like her isn't easy." While the 2 of them are sitting there, a police officer suddenly arrives. He says, Blackwood might have returned from hell. The watchman claims to have seen him walking around today. Sherlock responds, "That's interesting." Watson quickly adds, "That's impossible. I checked him myself. He was dead." But the officer urges them to come with him. He also says, if this news spreads among the public, it will cause widespread panic. After this, Sherlock Holmes and Watson go to the location. The grave, which was supposed to contain Blackwood's body, is dug up. But when it's opened, Blackwood's body is not inside. Instead, there's another corpse. Everyone around is terrified. Fear spreads among the people, as many already believe that Blackwood was a master of black magic, a man with limitless powers. The person who claimed to have seen Blackwood says, "I saw him walking." And when the dead start walking, the living begin to fear for their lives. As Holmes and Watson observe the man carefully, they realize he's the same person Adler had hired them to find earlier. Now, they decide to leave the place and track down his address. Actually, Sherlock Holmes found a watch in the coffin with that man. After visiting the shop where the watch was purchased, they obtain his address. At this point, Watson begins to suspect that some kind of magical power is involved. He tells Holmes about a man he once met in India who had predicted his own death, even the exact number of bullets he would be shot with. Holmes replies, "Yes, but I can't draw any conclusions without proper investigation." Now, Holmes and Watson go to the house of the man whose body was found in the coffin meant for Blackwood. After arriving at the house, they discover that this man was conducting an experiment with Blackwood, a major project combining science and magic. While investigating, Sherlock Holmes notices a dead frog inside a copper pot, along with several other pieces of evidence. Just as they're deep in their investigation, a group of men arrives, including one very powerful figure. They've come to destroy the place so that no evidence remains. Fortunately, Holmes and Watson have already gathered all the information they needed. However, the powerful man attacks them, leading to a destructive confrontation. A ship ends up sinking in the water, and as a result, both Holmes and Watson are arrested and thrown into jail. In the morning, Watson's fiancée, Mary, comes and takes him away, while Sherlock Holmes remains in jail. However, a few hours later, he also receives bail. The man who bails him out shows him a newspaper headline that reads, "Blackwood lives and the devil walks with him." It's a chilling article, suggesting that Blackwood is alive and accompanied by dark forces. The man tells Holmes that some high-ranking individuals arranged his release and have summoned him. He then covers Holmes's face with a cloth and takes him to a secret location. When the cloth is finally removed, Holmes finds himself sitting across from a distinguished man. The man says, "You must find all of this very mysterious. You're probably wondering where you are and who I am." But Sherlock Holmes, ever sharp, surprises him. Despite being blindfolded, Holmes accurately describes the route they took to get there. He details every turn and road they passed. He even tells the man exactly where they are now. Observing the man's thumb, Holmes deduces that he is the head of the Temple of the Four Orders. Looking at the letters on the table, he further reveals the man's name, Sir Thomas Rotherham. After revealing all this, Holmes calmly says, "Now, the real mystery is, why did you blindfold me in the first place?" Then they said, "Now, Blackwood is a threat to all of us. He didn't just kill 5 girls, he killed many more. But no one can prove it. His powers grow stronger every day, and that's why he's still alive. Whatever he does next will be even more dangerous." They then show Sherlock Holmes a book, telling him that the secret to Blackwood's power is hidden within its pages. They explain that he is preparing an army that will help him change the entire world. Now, they say, "It's up to you to stop him. We are ready to help you, politically, financially, in every way possible." Sherlock Holmes replies, "I am a detective. That means I get to choose my clients. I will not do this for you, and I won't do it for money. But consider the job done." And with that, Sherlock Holmes leaves. But the next day, Sir Thomas, Blackwood's father and the senior-most member of the Temple of the Four Orders, dies while taking a bath in his bathtub. His ring also mysteriously disappears from his body. Sherlock Holmes and the police arrive at the scene. While investigating, Holmes discovers a hidden room. He collects some items from there and then leaves. Meanwhile, a meeting is held with the members of the Temple of the Four Orders. During the session, a man steps forward and says, "I now nominate Blackwood as the new head of our secret society." But the others object, reminding him of the danger Blackwood poses. Just then, Blackwood himself enters the room. His presence unsettles everyone. They all know he possesses dark, magical powers. Blackwood addresses them confidently. "All my powers and abilities exist for one purpose: to build a new world, a new future that we can rule together." He continues, "There is a civil war going on in America. We can re-establish our influence there and take control." However, one member, Standish, strongly opposes him. He pulls out a gun and says, "Someone has to stop this." He fires at Blackwood, but to everyone's shock, the bullet has no effect. Instead, Standish's body bursts into flames, and he burns to death right in front of them. The members are terrified, but Blackwood calmly says, "There is nothing to fear. Everything is under control." He then demands their support, and with that, Blackwood is declared the new head of the secret society. On the other hand, Sherlock Holmes discovers a factory that may lead directly to Blackwood. Holmes and Watson head to the location, and upon arriving, they realize that a scientific experiment was being conducted there. However, a large machine has recently been removed. While investigating, they notice something written on the wall, 118, which Holmes interprets as Chapter 1, Verse 18 from the Bible. Holmes explains, this verse says, "I was dead, and now I shall live forever." Just then, Blackwood's voice echoes through the space, saying, "She followed you. You sent your lamb to the slaughter." Suddenly, Adler appears. She is the same woman who previously visited Holmes and gave him the key that led to the discovery of the man found buried in Blackwood's grave. Holmes had once been in love with her, and perhaps still has feelings for her. Holmes and Watson manage to save Adler, but Blackwood escapes. Moments later, a massive explosion occurs at the site. Fortunately, all three survive the blast. A policeman arrives and tells Holmes that Watson is safe, but warns him to leave immediately because a warrant has been issued for his arrest. Blackwood now holds a position of power and is using his influence to control the police. With danger closing in, Holmes, Watson, and Adler flee the scene, each heading off in a different direction. With this, the first part of the Sherlock Holmes movie explanation ends. To watch the second part, the link is provided in the description. For more such movie explanations, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment in the comment box. See you in the next video. Till then, take care.